I'm joined today by John Yates, the new CEO of Doorway. That's the homelessness charity based here in Chippenham. John's been in post now just since July, so very early days, but we wanted to have a chat with him. And John, thanks for sparing the time. I particularly wanted to ask you, what attracted you to the role of becoming CEO at Doorway?
Well, I'm very glad to be talking to you, and the opportunity I spotted was welcome because I was looking for something new to do in my career, and when I saw the job come up at Doorway, it spoke to me on a whole number of levels, one of which was the work that Doorway do is so important in creating a fairer society for those people in our communities who need a little help, and fairness is something that's really, really important to me, and that's why it spoke out to me, and I felt compelled to make an application, and I'm delighted to have been awarded the role.
John, when you started the job, what were your first impressions?
Two things mainly. Firstly, the dedication and professionalism of the team here at Doorway, who face a whole number of challenges in helping our guests, as we call them, meet their challenges, and they do so with such dedication, with such stoicism, with such humanity, and with humour, which I think is always important in any challenge. And secondly, it's the complicated nature of the issue of homelessness, what it actually means in modern Britain, what people actually face, and how representative that is of our society more broadly. And I hope that we're making, as I said earlier, I hope we're making it a little fairer for people who need a little help to negotiate the challenges that we all face.
How would you describe your management style?
I'd like to think that I'm both people-focused and team-focused. I love to see people developing, taking ownership of their role and flourishing in their role. And my job, I see, really is to make that happen, or to help that happen, and to see people develop. All that within, of course, the organisational imperative, which is why we exist. What is Doorway here to achieve? Well, we have a charity number in order to deliver service to our beneficiaries. So those are people who are homeless or at risk of homelessness in our town or in North Wiltshire more broadly.
It's early days, I know, John, but what do you see as the key challenges facing Doorway?
I think the challenges that we face are symptomatic of those faced around the country with regard to how complicated our local statutory structure is, how we find the right level of support for people who need a little help in their lives to make sure that they don't fall by the wayside. And that's complicated work, it changes all the time. So our daily challenge is to make sure we're able to access the right level of support for people. At the same time, making sure that our guests are safe and that we are able to be here to assist them. And at the same time, I think we have an opportunity to develop the services and the way we talk about what we do for more modern audiences as the digital world encroaches into our society more.
Now, homelessness is a national problem, we know, but what's the situation regarding homelessness in our area?
Well, that's a big question and a complex one. What I can say is that we see new people presenting to us every week. We support over 300 guests a year who require our services to help them move on in their lives. And I think that's indicative of most conurbations up and down the country. Statistics, though, can be misleading in that what they don't tell us is that each individual case is individual. It is personal and it is normally complex. And having a statistic that says we have X number of rough sleepers in Chippenham is probably good to know from the statutory services point of view and for our own point of view, but what that actually means for each of those individuals can be very different, and the outcomes can be very different. So what we see is the same thing that's seen across the country. I think our numbers are probably a bit concerning given the wealth that exists in our broader community across Wiltshire, and I'd like to see our numbers going down over time, which sounds a bit perverse, but why are we here? Why do we exist? Is it to make sure that we don't have issues like that in our town.
John, what are you setting out to accomplish here at Doorway?
First and foremost, I want to ensure that our services remain on a secure footing. That's my major imperative, to make sure that our team is here to deliver the services that are needed, to service our guests and to help them move on. More broadly, I want to be a voice for those guests and the broader voluntary sector actually across the town, and I want to seek to work collaboratively with all the other offices and agencies that provide support to help our social fabric across the town. I want us to reflect what our guests experience in how we talk about the issues, but I also want to ensure that we are fit for purpose in this digital age going forward, and make sure that we are doing all we can to service those beneficiaries in the best way, and that also means creating a more sustainable delivery around carbon and all that sort of stuff.
Where would you like the charity to be 1 year from now?
1 year from now, that might be a long term for some. I think it's a short term for us. Well, we have some immediate challenges in that we are still recovering from the floods of last year, through which we lost our main facility. We're almost at a point where we can reoccupy that facility. We have an exciting development, which is deathly dull to talk about, but that's in our system for recording the work that we do and being able to tell the story of that work, both quantitatively and qualitatively, and to ensure that our team are comfortable with those developments, and that actually those floods have given us an opportunity to do things better.
So back in November 2024, your offices at the Citadel here were very badly damaged by flooding. I wonder if you could update us on how the repairs are going and when you expect things to be back to normal.
Yes, well, I have to say we've reached a few milestones lately. I had a tour around this morning. The decorating is done. The flooring is almost done. There's a shower in place. There are certain things that we still need to see. The cleaners are coming in this week, so once all that debris, if you like, of the decorating and the refurbishment have been removed, we'll be able to take a good look at the space and interrogate it for snagging, as happens with these projects. But it's really exciting time, so I'm hopeful that we will have ownership of the space again before the end of August, and that then we can make plans for the movement of our drop-in sessions and some of our other sessions back to the Citadel, so that our guests can come back to where they feel most at home when they're dealing with Doorway.
So John, if a member of the public asked how they can help Doorway, what would you say to them?
Well, we always need good people to do good things, as our society does broadly. So how good people can really help us do the good things that we deliver. We always need money, we always need donors. Regular donors are marvellous, and people can do that through our website, which is www.doorwayproject, all one word, .org.uk. And there's a donate facility that's pretty obvious there that people can follow. We're always looking for volunteers to help us with our drop-in sessions and to serve our beneficiaries. And if anyone's interested in doing that, they can drop me a line, and that would be at info@doorwayproject.org.uk. Always great to hear from anybody. And like any organisation in the 21st century, we're always looking for expertise around all those things that organisations have to do with: marketing, finance, compliance, safeguarding, human resources, all those things. We're always looking for free and yet valuable expertise. So if anybody has got something they can offer, then a conversation is always worthwhile. And I hope that those people who support us financially and who volunteer for us get a kick out of seeing the work that we do, because you know, being charitable can still be fun. And we try and find the fun in what we're doing, because we know if we're smiling, then our guests may smile too, and that's at a time when they really could do with a smile.
John, that's great. Thanks for your time.